Parallel paths. In a bustling city, the morning routine for Madison and Thomas was similar yet solitary. Every day, they boarded the same bus at the break of dawn, strangers on parallel paths. Thomas, an architect, would settle into his usual seat at the back, his world consisting of sketchbooks, pencils, and the comforting familiarity of music through his headphones. He often lost himself in his thoughts, doodling ideas for his projects and sketching the architectural marvels that inspired him while his imagination wandered. Madison, on the other hand, preferred the front of the bus, where she could gaze out of the window and watch the city gradually awaken. The sun would rise, casting golden hues over the concrete jungle, and pedestrians would begin to fill the streets, rushing to their destinations. She worked in marketing, where she navigated creative strategies for campaigns during her 9-to-5. But before such a busy day commenced, she cherished this brief time of solitude, savoring her steaming cup of coffee and mentally preparing for her work ahead. Despite riding the same bus for months, their interactions were limited to occasional eye contact and polite smiles. Routine made their lives feel mundane, yet beneath the surface was a subtle, unformed connection, an invisible thread linking their daily journeys. One fateful morning, dark clouds rolled in unexpectedly, engulfing the city in a heavy downpour. Madison stood at the bus stop, shifting uncomfortably as rain soaked everything around her. She noticed the usual crowd was thinner than usual, and she felt the anticipation build as she frequently glanced at her watch. When the bus finally arrived, it was already packed with commuters seeking shelter from the rain. As she hurried to board, a sudden gust of wind caught Thomas's umbrella, flipping it inside out and battling against him as he tried to join the thronging crowd. Caught in the chaos, Madison's instincts kicked in, and she reached out, grabbing the umbrella just as Thomas lost his footing. "Here, let me help," Madison exclaimed, pulling the umbrella from his grasp and steadying him as he stepped onto the bus. "Thank you. That was close," Thomas replied, offering a grateful smile that lit up his face. It was in that split second that a spark of recognition passed between them, an unspoken acknowledgement of their shared circumstances. As they settled into their seats, still dripping from the rain, their initial awkwardness faded. The storm outside had forced them to connect, breaking through the barriers of their daily routine. Feeling bold, Thomas decided to seize the moment. "Do you ride this bus often?" he asked, glancing over at Madison. "Every day," she replied, relieved that he was initiating conversation. "I work in marketing downtown. What about you?" "I'm an architect. I usually spend my morning sketching ideas, but today's weather certainly threw me off," he said, gesturing to his soaked notebook. Madison chuckled lightly, enjoying his lightheartedness. "You should have a backup plan for days like today." The exchange opened the floodgates to conversation, and as the bus rattled through the streets, they began discussing their jobs, dreams, and favorite spots in the city. Madison learned that Thomas had a passion for photography, while Thomas found out about Madison's love for cooking. With each passing moment, their connection deepened. Their initial encounter grew into a delightful conversation that flowed seamlessly. They shared aspirations and insights on their personal projects, swapping stories of their experiences. Madison discovered Thomas's love for architectural design in the city, and he was impressed by her culinary endeavors and aspirations to start a food blog. By the time they arrived at their bus stop, an unspoken bond had begun to form. "Maybe we could grab coffee together sometime," Thomas suggested hesitantly, his heart pounding with anticipation. "That sounds great," Madison replied, smiling widely. "How about tomorrow after work?" Their exchange of contact information felt significant, like the first thread woven into a tapestry of friendship and perhaps something more. The next day, they met at a charming little cafe near their offices. Sitting across the table from one another, they dove into conversations as if they had known each other for years. Thomas felt remarkably comfortable around Madison, while she appreciated the genuine depth of their discussions. As they chatted over steaming cups of coffee and flaky pastries, Thomas noticed how Madison's eyes sparkled with passion when she talked about her culinary adventures, and he couldn't help but admire her enthusiasm. "I can't believe we sat next to each other all this time without ever talking," he said, a hint of wonder in his voice. "I know. Sometimes it takes a little rain to help us realize there's more to discover," Madison replied playfully, her smile infectious. "I'm so glad we finally talked. It feels like we've been missing out on something special." With every sip of coffee and laugh shared, their connection deepened. The comfortable atmosphere of the cafe wrapped around them, creating a world where only they existed, free from the usual hustle of city life. As they exchanged stories about their lives, Thomas discovered that Madison had a quirky sense of humor and a love for spontaneous adventures. She told him about a recent cooking class that had gone hilariously wrong, involving a kitchen fire and a very stressed-out instructor. "I swear, I nearly burned down the whole place," she exclaimed, her laughter contagious. "But it was one of the most fun nights of my life." Thomas joined in her laughter, feeling captivated by her vibrant personality. "You know, that sounds like the kind of story people would love to hear. It makes you relatable. It's clear you have a great sense of humor about life." Madison appreciated Thomas's kind words, realizing how much she enjoyed his company. As their pastries disappeared and the coffee refilled, the conversation flowed effortlessly, revealing layers of their personalities that intrigued each other. From that day on, their coffee meetings became a regular fixture in their lives. Thomas and Madison met after work every week, gradually transitioning from friendly coffee dates to something much deeper. The more they shared, the more they cherished the bond that was rapidly developing between them. As autumn began to paint the city with warm colors, Thomas felt an undeniable chemistry with Madison. He admired her zest for life, her creativity, and her ability to turn the simplest moments into something extraordinary. Madison, in turn, found comfort in Thomas's calm demeanor and artistic soul. One crisp evening, they went for a walk through the park, surrounded by golden leaves and the scent of fall in the air. Thomas turned to Madison, the golden light illuminating her features, making her glow. "I never expected to feel this way about someone I met so randomly," he confessed, picking up a fallen leaf and twirling it between his fingers. Madison's heart raced with his words. "Neither did I. It feels like we were meant to cross paths on that bus," she replied softly, gazing into his eyes. With the backdrop of beautiful autumn foliage, they shared their vulnerabilities and dreams for the future, forging a connection that was authentic and tender. The moment lingered, building a bridge between friendship and something more profound. One night, as they strolled through the park, their hands brushed against each other, and Thomas took the leap, intertwining his fingers with hers. "Madison, I've truly enjoyed spending time with you," he said, his voice a mix of excitement and trepidation. "I think there's something special here, and I'd love to see where this connection takes us." Madison's heart swelled with joy. "I feel the same way, Thomas. It's been a long time since I felt this way about someone." They paused, the beauty of the moment enveloping them. The city lights flickered in the distance, creating a magical ambience. Thomas leaned in closer, searching her face for any hint of hesitation, but all he found was a warm, welcoming smile. As he leaned in for a gentle kiss, the world around them seemed to fade away. The warmth of their feelings surrounded them, marking the beginning of a new chapter. With their relationship now blossoming into something beautiful, Thomas and Madison began talking about future adventures. "What if we take a weekend trip soon? Just to escape the city and spend time together?" Thomas suggested one evening as they relaxed on the couch. "I'd love that. We could explore a new town, try local foods, and just enjoy being together," Madison said, her eyes twinkling with excitement. Thomas's heart raced at the thought of furthering their connection outside of the city's familiarity. "Absolutely. I'll find a charming place for us to stay." As they made their plans, they both felt a sense of anticipation. The thought of spending more time together, creating memories, and deepening their bond ignited a spark of joy in both their hearts. As the weekend approached, they packed their bags, eagerly chatting about their itinerary during the drive. The open road brought with it a crisp breeze and lovely scenery, an adventure waiting to unfold. They sang along to their favorite songs, laughter echoing as they shared stories and recounted their most ridiculous moments. Upon arriving at their destination, a small town nestled in the hills, they felt instantly enchanted. The quaint charm of cobblestone streets, cozy shops, and vibrant local markets surrounded them. "This place is like something out of a storybook," Madison exclaimed, her eyes shining with awe as they explored their new surroundings. Thomas couldn't help but smile as he watched Madison take in the charm of the town. Her enthusiasm was infectious, and he found himself captivated by the way her eyes sparkled at every new discovery. They spent the afternoon exploring local shops, sampling delicious homemade pastries, and visiting art galleries that showcased the work of local artists. Each new place they visited was filled with vibrant colors and unique expressions, fueling both of their artistic spirits. "This artist's work is stunning," Madison said, standing in front of a large canvas depicting a scenic view of the town. "Look at the way they captured the light. It feels so warm and inviting." Thomas nodded in agreement. "I love how art can convey the mood of a place so beautifully. It's inspiring to see how others interpret their surroundings." He felt a growing appreciation for the artistic world they inhabited together, knowing their shared love for art was a bridge connecting their hearts even more. As they strolled hand in hand through the downtown area, they encountered a small park filled with tall trees and cozy benches. The sun was beginning to set, casting a warm golden light over everything. "Let's take a moment to sit and enjoy this view," Thomas suggested, leading Madison to a bench where they could watch the sunset together. As they sat side by side, watching the sky transition from orange to deep purple, Thomas felt a sense of peace enveloping them. The atmosphere was serene, and he couldn't help but feel grateful for this moment. "Madison," he said softly, turning to face her, "I can't express how much I've enjoyed this trip. Being here with you has made it so special." Madison looked at him, her expression one of warmth and tenderness. "I feel the same way, Thomas. This is such a refreshing escape, and I'm so glad we decided to do this together." In that magical moment, with the sun setting as their backdrop, Thomas leaned in closer, feeling the pull of her presence. "I want to keep experiencing these moments with you. This connection we have, it's something I want to nurture." Madison's heart raced as she gazed into his eyes, feeling completely seen and understood. "I want that too," she whispered, leaning in to close the gap between them. Their lips met in a soft, tender kiss that felt like a promise. With the world around them fading away, they were wrapped in the warmth of a love that was blossoming before their very eyes. After their enchanting weekend, filled with exploration and deepening bonds, the drive home was filled with a mix of nostalgia and anticipation. They talked about all the experiences they had shared and how they looked forward to more adventures together. "I can't believe how fast this weekend went by," Thomas said, glancing over at Madison. "Every moment felt like magic." "I know. It was perfect," she agreed, her smile a reflection of the joy she felt in her heart. "I can't wait to plan our next trip." As the city skyline came into view, a sense of excitement bubbled within them. They recognized that this trip had brought them even closer, solidifying their feelings for one another. Thomas realized how much he cherished every second spent with Madison and how they complemented each other, not just in art but in life. Back in their daily routines, the memories of their weekend lingered sweetly in their minds. Week after week, their bond deepened as they shared moments of vulnerability, dreams, and aspirations. They spent more time collaborating on art, inspired by one another's creativity and passion. One evening while they were in Thomas's studio, he looked around at the paintings they had worked on together. "You know, I feel like we've grown so much, both as artists and as friends. Madison nodded, her eyes sparkling. Absolutely. It's amazing how we motivate each other. I wouldn't want to do this journey with anyone else. With hearts aligned and dreams ignited, Thomas and Madison began to plan for even more community workshops, art exhibitions, and shared projects. They were excited to offer their skills, knowledge, and encouragement to others, just as they had done for each other. Their relationship flourished as they saw the impact their collaboration had on the community, fostering creativity and connection. Thomas knew that with Madison by his side, they could continue to create beautiful memories and artworks that not only resonated with them but inspired others too. As their artistic journey continued to unfold, Thomas and Madison realized they were not just creating art but also crafting a beautiful love story. They built a life around sharing their passions, supporting one another's dreams, and fully embracing the moments of joy and laughter that life had to offer. Every brushstroke, every conversation, and every shared experience added to the depth of their relationship. They found comfort in knowing that together, they could conquer challenges and forge ahead with creativity and love. One sunny afternoon, while they were working side by side in Madison's kitchen, where the smell of freshly baked cookies filled the air, they took a moment to pause and reflect on how intertwined their lives had become. Flour dusted their cheeks, and laughter echoed as they tasted each other's culinary creations, blending their interests seamlessly. "I never thought I'd enjoy cooking so much," Thomas admitted, grinning as he licked a bit of cookie dough off his fingers. "Especially when I get to do it with you." Madison smiled back, her heart warmed by the simple pleasure of their shared moments. "It's fun to combine our talents. Art isn't just about painting or sketching, it's about creation in all its forms. I love that we can inspire each other." "Definitely. And I think we're becoming better artists and people because of it," Thomas replied, feeling a swell of affection. With each passing day, their connection deepened, through artistic collaboration, shared dreams, and emotional support. They began planning workshops together, not only to enhance their skills but to bring people together, fostering creativity in their community. Reflecting on their journey, Thomas realized that the vulnerability of their artistic expression mirrored the openness they had cultivated in their relationship. Each new project brought them closer, allowing them to explore different aspects of their personalities. "We should really think about how we want to celebrate our journey, maybe a showcase of our work and our story," Thomas suggested, envisioning a small exhibition that celebrated their unique bond. "I love that idea. We can invite everyone who has supported us along the way, a true celebration of art and friendship," Madison replied, her eyes sparkling with enthusiasm. As they made plans for this new chapter, they felt a renewed sense of purpose and anticipation for the future. Together, they were not just partners in art, they were partners in life, ready to explore the adventures that awaited them, hand in hand. As they settled into this new rhythm of life, Thomas and Madison made a habit of setting aside time each week to reflect on their progress, both in art and in their personal lives. These moments of reflection became a cherished tradition, allowing them to celebrate their achievements and reassess their goals. One evening, while they were painting in Thomas's studio, Madison looked around at their growing collection of artwork. "You know, it's incredible how far we've come," she said, her voice filled with nostalgia. "Just a few months ago, I was uncertain about how to move forward with my art. Now, I feel like I have a clear direction." "I feel the same way," Thomas replied, setting down his brush. "The support we give each other makes all the difference. It's like we can read each other's minds at this point." Madison laughed lightly, her expression warm. "Exactly. I really believe that together, we can achieve our wildest dreams." With renewed confidence, they began discussing their plans for an upcoming community art festival where other local artists could showcase their work as well. They envisioned a celebration filled with art, music, and workshops, something that would bring the community together through creativity. "Imagine it," Madison said, her eyes lighting up. "Art booths, live performances, and interactive workshops throughout the day. We could turn it into an annual celebration. I love that concept. We absolutely have to make this happen, Thomas responded, excitement bubbling within him. They began brainstorming, sketching out their ideas on paper, and listing potential partners and sponsors who could help bring the festival to life. The community art festival arrived and proved to be an overwhelming success. The park was adorned with colorful banners, filled with laughter, and invigorated by the creative spirit of the attendees. Thomas and Madison beamed with pride as they welcomed the community, watching families and friends come together to celebrate art. "Look at all these people," Madison said, her voice rising above the cheerful chatter as she took in the bustling scene around them. "I can't believe how wonderful this turned out. I knew it would be great." "You've worked so hard for this," Thomas said, his heart swelling with pride for Madison and for their partnership. Throughout the day, they hosted workshops, shared their artistic journeys, and encouraged others to express their creativity. Thomas looked around and saw a community activated by the warmth of their shared passion, and he knew that they had created something lasting together. As the sun began to set, casting a golden light across the park, Thomas and Madison found a quiet moment to reflect on the day. Standing side by side, they took in everything they had accomplished, not just with art, but in their lives together. "This day has been incredible," Madison said, her voice filled with emotion as she turned to Thomas. "I couldn't have imagined a more fulfilling experience." "Neither could I," Thomas agreed, stepping closer to her. "I'm grateful for everything we've built together and for the bond that's only grown stronger through this journey." With their hearts full of joy and spirits soaring, they shared a gentle kiss as the fading sunlight illuminated their surroundings. In that moment, they knew that their partnership transcended art. It was a deep connection based on mutual support, trust, and love. As they moved forward, Thomas and Madison embraced the future hand in hand, ready to explore the endless possibilities that awaited them. They recognized that together, they were capable of achieving remarkable things, weaving their passions into a vibrant tapestry of friendship and love for years to come. Their story, one that began with an ordinary bus ride, had evolved into an extraordinary journey, filled with creativity, inspiration, and the promise of a beautiful future together. As months turned into years, Thomas and Madison continued to nurture their relationship, embarking on new adventures and projects that further strengthened their bond. They traveled to art exhibits, collaborated on community initiatives, and hosted cooking workshops, each endeavor melding their creative spirits in new and exciting ways. Their love story inspired not only each other but also those around them. They became a well-known couple in their community, advocating for the arts and encouraging others to pursue their passions unapologetically. Madison eventually launched her food blog, sharing delightful recipes and stories that reflected her journey alongside Thomas, while Thomas's architectural designs gained greater recognition for their innovative blend of tradition and modernity. In every little thing they did, they found joy, whether it was over a cup of coffee in their favorite cafe, painting in their shared studio, or cooking elaborate meals together. Their love story continued to unfold, vibrant and multifaceted, leading them to a future that held countless possibilities. As they stood together one evening, looking at a beautiful sunset from their favorite spot in the park, Madison turned to Thomas with a smile. "Do you remember that rainy day on the bus? How could I forget? It changed everything for us," Thomas replied, chuckling softly. "It's amazing how one moment can alter the course of our lives," she said thoughtfully. "Yes," Thomas responded, pulling her closer. "And I can't imagine my life without you. Here's to many more moments like that." Madison smiled, her heart filled with love. "To us and the adventures yet to come." And together, they watched the horizon, knowing that their journey had only just begun.